let's say you have a quick Zoom meeting and you've been wearing your hair in a bun since you first did your crochet braids. I don't know why, but I always wear these in a bun with tons of bobby pins, and by the time I take it down, it's a big ratted mess. And I have a Zoom meeting, so I try to style it. For the most part, that doesn't work, so I'm gonna put it right back in a bun. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm gonna put it back in a bun. And I'm going to try to put it back in a bun using just 3 bobby pins, which helps with your scalp so that it's not pulling on it and you're not using a rubber band, which really tears up your crochet braids. So I'm going to try to pin this up using 2 bobby pins. I mean, it's holding up pretty well with 2 bobby pins, but I'm just going to stick a 3rd one in there just for good measure. So now you have your bun is secure. I'm going to show you what it looks like and how I just wrapped it up and tucked it in there. All right, so don't judge me. This is all my scarves. I mean, I can't say these are all my scarves, but this is the majority of my scarves. There are some scarves probably somewhere around the house, but these are all my scarves. So I'm going to take 2 scarves and I'm going to use them in a head wrap. All right, so this is the first type of scarf head wrap. I'm just going to call this, I don't know if it needs a name, but this is usually how Erykah Badu does her wraps. She just layers them. I'm just going to do the first layer, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take it, fold it in the back, and then put it on the back of your head and have it come out to the front. And then we're going to cross it over in the front, just like this. And we're going to cross it over again. And that kind of secures it so you don't have to do a knot per se. This is kind of like a flat knot. You're just wrapping it around your bun that's underneath it, and you're just tucking it. You wouldn't need to put any knots in a head wrap if you're doing it right. So if you are using head wraps and you are trying to cover your real hair and you're putting knots in it, that can cause breakage in your hair, and your hair can get caught in that knot, and as soon as you're moving around, you're just tugging on your hair and you're causing breakage. So in our head wraps today, we're not gonna be doing any knots. We're just gonna be twisting over and tucking. And that's the beauty of doing a head wrap, is just wrapping it and tucking. Wrap and tuck, just remember that. Of course, I'm using this wrap technique on faux locks. You can feel free to put on a silk scarf, especially if you're wrapping your real hair. Now for the second technique, I'm going to grab a second scarf, leave the other one on my head, and this one is just going to accent the first layer of the scarf. And so I'm going to fold it in the back, and I'm going to fold it down so that the teal blue part is poking through at the top. A little tip for any head wrap: in order for it to stay on your head, just make sure it's going past your ears so that the only thing that's showing at your ear area is just your earlobe, and that helps to keep it on your head. And then also, because it's on your ears, make sure you don't pull it so tight. And then again, we're tucking and we're wrapping. Tuck and wrap. I usually stop at 2 scarves, so that's what I'm going to do here. But now I'm going to show you another thing that you can use to wrap your hair with. Your hubby or your boyfriend's t-shirt. So I just took an old t-shirt that he had. I'm going to cut it below the armpits. We don't need the top half for this. Then I'm going to take that bottom half, pull it up, and then I'm going to cut that in half lengthwise. Lengthwise or widthwise, whatever. So we're going to cut that in half, and then we're going to take the halves and we're going to cut them in half just on one side of the t-shirt. So I was able to make 2 little strips. I'm going to take these and I'm going to tie-dye them. And I'm doing that because they're just plain white t-shirts, but you can use a t-shirt that has a print on it instead. But here, all we're going to need is 2 plastic bottles. We're going to poke holes in the top of those plastic bottles. And then I'm just using these 2 colors of dye. You can find that anywhere. Some gloves. We're gonna need some rubber bands. We're gonna use a fork. Yeah, you'll see what I'm doing with this fork, but you need a fork. And so I have a t-shirt, an extra t-shirt I wanted to do, and I got my 2 little strips here. And I'm going to use a plastic container to keep it all contained. So now we're going to prepare our fabrics. So according to my teenager, if you take the t-shirt, put a little slit of it in one of the tongs of the fork, and you spin it, you'll make a little spiral design. Or something like that. So now we're going to take our little rubber bands and we're going to hold it in place. Seriously, cat. So we're going to hold it in place with the rubber bands. Make sure that we don't have any loose little ends in there. And we're going to take our fork out and we're going to secure it in that design and just put it in the bucket. And so with the little strips, all I'm going to do is just putting rubber bands in different spots. And when you put rubber bands on it, it's kind of voiding the color so that the color isn't just one flat color. That's how you do tie-dye. Seriously, cat. Like, really? And so basically you are just putting these rubber bands oh my God, to just make sure that the color doesn't go all the way through and t-shirt will be just one whole color. So that's the beauty of tie-dye. Now we're going to put our gloves on and we're going to fill each one of these plastic bottles with the colors. You don't have to put but maybe an inch high of the color in there. It doesn't need to be a lot. And we're going to put the tops on. But before we get started, we have to take these and we have to rinse them off really quick in cool water so they're damp. I squeeze it out a little bit, but they're not dripping. And so that's the part too that gets the dye to seep in. So I'm just going to cover these in these certain colors that I picked and see what comes out of it. Once it's covered to your satisfaction, I took 3 little bags. I put them in the bags to keep it safe because I have cats, as you've noticed. And I checked underneath also to make sure that the bag didn't have any holes in it, because otherwise it's just going to be seeping out and still going to be a mess. So I set those aside. You can do it from anywhere to about 2 hours to overnight. And I did overnight. And you wash it in cold water just to get all the dye out. And then you're going to wash it and dry it in the washing machine just for added measure. And I chose a t-shirt because of its stretchy material. And I'm going to put it along the back of my head, do that double twist thing. And then all you have to do is just wrap it around. And like I said before, tuck it. And I also made this little, I don't know what this was. Maybe it was supposed to be a necklace, but it fit around my head wrap. So you can dress it up with some shells and stuff. What? And then I found this old belt, this little beaded belt. Nothing special, just never wore it. I can wrap that around my head wrap. So of course the next day I had another Zoom meeting. And so with this one, I really didn't want to put a head wrap around all my hair. So I just wanted to do it around just the edges of my hair. and have my hair poking through the top. So this is another way that you can wear a head wrap without wearing a full head wrap. So I'm making sure that it's tight along the top and all my hair is tucked inside of the head wrap and secure. And then I twisted it in the front. And then I'm just going to wrap it around and tuck it. So there you go. These are my 5 ways to wrap a scarf around your head if you have hair. At the top, I'm going to put a link to my other video, which is 6 ways that you can wrap your hair if you have less hair. Be sure to check that out. And if you like this video, don't hesitate to leave a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe. In the description box below, I put a link to the accessories you might have seen in this video. Be sure to check those out. And as always, thank you so much for watching.